Yeah. All right. In 2005, I met Pastor William, and at that time, I was not feeling very well because I was suffering from a disease called ankylosing spondylitis. And so let me share screen with you. Of course, I want to first affirm that, that Jesus is alive and he still heals people this day. This kind of a disease is inherited type that I inherited from my father. He didn't give me money. He gave me this kind of a genetic disorder. And so it's called ankylosing spondylitis, which means that all the joints get fused up. And so for 10 years, I suffered this kind of pain. And the chronic pain is like, if you use the Chinese term, 酸痛, is like that pain would come wave upon wave and night after night. And I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sit up for too long. I couldn't walk for too long. I couldn't stand for too long, and so on. I couldn't lie down, and so on and so forth. And so it was very, very painful. And so it's a long-term disease because what happened is that the autoimmune, the system attacked my backbone. And then my backbone started to fight back. And so it oozed out a lot of calcium and it fused up all the joints. And when joints get fused up, then you got inflammation of the joints and inflammation of the nerve. And therefore that caused the pain. And there were many days that I couldn't even walk. All right, so there's inflammation of the spine and the pelvis. And then, so when you look at your normal spine, yours would be flexible, but mine would be just like that one on the right, whereby it's all joint. And at one time, if I had to turn to talk to you, I had to turn the whole body in order to look at you. I couldn't turn my neck, yeah, because it's all fused up. And so when I went to the doctor said that there's no cure because you inherited this. It's a genetic disorder. I went to America, doctor said same thing. Like in America, they got in about 200,000 of people who suffered from this. And I happen to be one of those in Asia. And so I said, oh dear. And he actually warned me. He said that when you grow older, you're going to be in a wheelchair. It is going to be very serious, and so on and so forth. And so for many years, I did not believe that I could be healed until I met Pastor William Lau. So you see, these are the realities of my life at that point. Walking stick would be like on a good day. Every day I had to use a walking stick. On a very, very good day, then I did not have to use for a few hours, but subsequently I still got to use. Then wheelchair will be on a very, very bad day, which means that the sciatic nerve got inflamed. Now, I want you all to know that whatever diseases that you have, right, they all can be gone, okay? So as you hear what the Lord has done to my life and to my body, I want you to have faith. And so I live on painkillers for 10 years. Every day I took 8 pills, okay, 8 of them. And doctors say, you cannot take any more because if you take any more, you're going to burn a hole in your stomach. And so that was my life for 10 years before I met Pastor William Lau. I was very often depressed and wanted to die, but I did not dare to kill myself. And so I prayed this kind of prayer. I said, God, kill me. God, you kill me, take me to heaven because I shouldn't be living life like that. And at that time, I was still a pastor. And oftentimes, you know, when pain came and members of my church got to come to my house and pick me up so that could bring me to church and preach. So that's me in the, 2005. I got the walking stick and my passport when I move around to preach, and then that's the wheelchair here. Okay. But after I met Pastor William Lau, something happened here. He laid hands upon me. Now, I wasn't instantly healed. I felt better, but I was not instantly healed because I still had a lot of doubt. I trusted the word of the doctors, and I trusted this thing called autoimmune, all this nonsense, that, that you are condemned to be like that, and because this is a natural thing, and so you are going to be sick forever. And I trusted the word of the doctors. Not that they were telling me lies, they were telling me the truth, the natural truth. But there is a supernatural truth that we have to have, and that's the word of God. That is, we really have to trust. And so after he laid hands upon me, I was not fully healed. But then when I lay hands on others, people got healed very fast. They got healed. And so at one time, there was a man who came and he got the same thing like mine. And then his pain left him straight away. And so I complained to God. I say, God, it is not fair. How could you heal him and you never heal me? And the Lord asked me a question in my heart. He said that, would you continue to minister healing if you were not healed? I say, sure, I would. If you give me the power to heal, I will continue to do so, even if I were not healed. And then that was like, I waited something like for 2 years, that 2007. One day I got up, no one laid hands on me. One day I got up completely healed. In fact, I got up no pain because I sprung up. And when you got back pain, you never spring up. You always slowly roll around and then let your feet touch the ground, touch the floor, and then you stand up very slowly so that the back won't be painful. And those of you with back pain, and you know what I'm saying. But that day when I sprung up and I felt no pain. So I thought that I died already and gone to heaven because no more pain. Then I looked and then my wife was still there sleeping. I said, hey, I'm still alive. But no pain, very strange, no pain. I went to the washroom and the whole day there wasn't any pain. And my wife said, what do you do? What do you want to do with the walking stick, the tongkat? Huh? I said, put it in a car. Maybe the pain will come back. You see, I didn't have a lot of faith. I believe that others can be healed, but I myself, I did not believe that I can be healed. You see? But then as the day, dragged to weeks and to months and to years, and that was like 2007 until now, no more pain. And God is so great. And so this is what happened now, that ever since that time, after the healing, I've been going around to minister healing, and then miracle flow to my hand. Because why? Because of the kingly authority. I did not pray. I did not use the priestly authority, or I used the prophetic authority. I used solely the kingly authority. And I didn't just use it myself, but I trained others. And so this will be the two-hand punch, right? It means that one hand, we must preach the kingdom, preach the gospel of the kingdom. The other hand is power, authority to cast out demons and to heal the sick. And so subsequently, you'll find that a lot of miracles happen. And I want all of you, right, to continue to come in on Monday. You know why? Because you're building up your faith. You've got to build up your faith. All children of God should have an appetite for the supernatural things of God. So God is giving us this royal DNA to desire for what he desires. That's turning disorder to order. So in India, Gujarat, this deaf mute was the village deaf mute. Everybody knew him. And then while we minister and we train the pastors to do so, and that Chinese man that is behind him, that's my father-in-law. He was also trained by me. And what happened was, miracle happened. This deaf mute, the ear opened, the mouth opened, he could speak, and he became completely well. And that's the power of God. And you can see this deaf man, he came forward, he says deaf, we just lay hands on him, he got healed. And then we have like all this, the Balang tribe, in Mindanao, in the Philippines, and all these ladies with back pain. So because they were all saved Christian, so I asked them to lay hands on each other. One command, everybody got healed, all back pain left them. And then in Bangladesh, and we saw many miracles, right? These would be like, you see all the pastors and the leaders, they stood in front and they began to command. And so this is the mass healing. And so Pastor William taught you about distant healing. Distant healing is part of the mass healing. It means that you do not touch the people, but you allow the power of God, the authority of God to touch them, and they all got healed. And so you find that when people got healed, they came up to testify, like this man here in red, right? That all the pastors, we trained them, and they laid hands on him, and he was completely healed. And then the other man got a stroke, and actually he got up to walk. And so in Australia, it's the same thing. We went and miracle happened and people with pain, pain left them instantly because something, because we believe by faith, miracle must happen. And you know what happened here is that what the pastor asked me, he said that, all these years, there wasn't a single miracle in our church. How come when you came, there are so many people healed? And the Lord gave me the word for him. The Lord said, because you did not expect it. So, brothers and all the sisters, listen, tonight, expect it. If you come without expectation, you won't get healed. If you put the responsibility upon others and say that, oh, I want the commanders to have faith and I don't need to have faith, and if you can have a lot of doubt, nothing will happen. You know why? Because most of you are Christian. And Christian, you cannot have bitterness, you cannot have hatred, you cannot have this unholy thought. You have to be clean, you have to be sanctified, you have to come to God, and you have to do the handing over prayer and surrender. All right. So miracle can happen because you expect it. Here's on the street. Now, dealing with non-Christian is a lot easier. Like for example, on the street, while we were doing healing on the street in Beijing, this man was on a bicycle. He rode by and said, 你们在做什么? What are you all doing? And we say we are praying for the sick. Yeah, 我们替人家祷告啊. Okay. Then he said, 我的脚痛, my leg pain. And I said, get down off your bike and we will heal. And straight away, we healed him. And right there, we shared Christ with him. And as he rode the bike away, you know what he was saying? He said, 我相信, I believe. And that is what we can do. That is the biblical faith that we have. That, Pastor William Lau trained you the biblical way, and we all can do it. In fact, when I encountered him, he changed my life. My whole ministry being changed. I actually have a lot of slides to show you, but I think my time is up, and then so I will stop sharing here because I can tell you it's so exciting. I want all of you to come every Monday, build up your faith, and your life will never be the same again. Hallelujah. God bless you. All right, pass back to you, Sister LK.